Ladies, you got to understand something about men. We don't always say, I love you the way you expect it. See, society raised women to express, to communicate, to use words. But men, we were raised to show it. That's how we were built. We were taught to provide, protect, and be present, not always to talk it out. So when a man loves you, you may not hear it in a sentence, but you'll see it in his actions. A man doesn't always open his mouth and say what's on his heart. That's not how most of us are built. We weren't raised to cry it out, talk it out, or say everything that's going on in our mind. Nah, we were raised to handle it, to show up, to take care of the people we love. So when a man loves you, he might not say those 3 words often, but if you pay attention, you'll see he's saying it all the time, just in a different language. You just got to know how to read it. When a man loves you, he's thinking about how to make your life easier. He's thinking about how to protect your peace. He's thinking about how to take stress off your back. You may not see it at first, but it's in the little things. He puts gas in your car without you asking. He takes your car to get the oil changed. He sits in the car for hours waiting while you shop. He fixes stuff around the house, makes sure the bills are paid, locks the doors at night, and checks if you made it home safe even when he's not with you. That's love. That's him saying, you matter to me and I got you, without ever using those words. A lot of women expect love to come wrapped in words, roses, and romantic gestures. That's beautiful when it happens, but a man's love often looks more like a presence than a poem. He might not write you a love letter, but he's paying attention to everything. He knows how you like your coffee. He remembers that little thing you said about your job last week. He notices when your energy is off. He watches how people treat you and steps in when they don't treat you right. That's love. That's his version of, I love you. There's a quiet strength in the way a man loves when he really cares. He won't always say it because he's afraid he might mess it up, or maybe no one ever taught him how to put his emotions into words. But what he can do, what he knows how to do, is show you. And sometimes that man is loving you deeper than the one who texts you paragraphs every day. Because his love isn't coming from a place of performance. It's real, it's rooted, it's in the way he takes care of your needs before you even ask. A man in love becomes a provider, a protector, a planner. He's thinking about your future together, not just the weekend. He starts using we more than me. He includes you in decisions. He wants you to feel secure. And it's not always flashy. Sometimes it's quiet, steady, and strong. That's what real love looks like when it comes from a man who's built to move, not talk. It's not about posting you on Instagram. It's about being the rock you can lean on when life starts to shake. And you'll know when that man loves you because his priorities shift. He'll make sacrifices you never even asked for. He'll miss out on things just to be where you are. He'll say no to temptations that don't serve the relationship. He'll start thinking different, acting different, not because you asked him to change, but because love changes him. That's what it does. A man in love will evolve. He might not say it every morning, but he's showing it every day in the way he's becoming a better version of himself for you. You also notice that a man in love becomes more patient. He might not always know what to say when you're upset, but he'll stick around and try to make it right. He might not fix it perfectly, but he'll be there while you figure it out. And that's his way of saying, I'm not going anywhere. Love to him is in staying. It's in enduring. It's in the consistency. You can count on him even when everything else is falling apart. That's what separates a man who says, I love you from one who lives it. And when you really pay attention, you'll see it in his eyes. In the way he looks at you when he thinks you're not watching. In the way he talks about you to others even when you're not around. In the way he defends you when someone tries to speak sideways. In the way he lights up when you walk in the room. That's the stuff words can't match. Because some things are too real for words, and a man's love, when it's genuine, is one of them. Is we bound in each other as men and women? Is we bound each to him? So when you're with a man and you start to wonder if he loves you, take a step back and watch. Look at what he does, not just what he says. Is he consistent? Is he reliable? Does he make an effort? Does he protect your heart even when he's mad? Does he bring you peace instead of drama? Does he show up when it matters most? That's love. That's a man loving you loud in silence. That's a man saying, I'm yours in the language he knows best. Action. Don't get caught up in chasing words. Words are beautiful, yes. But a man's love is often deeper than words. It's in his sacrifice, in his loyalty, in his effort, in his protection. And if you wait on the words, you might miss all the love he's already giving. Learn to read the unspoken. That's where his heart is. Because when a man truly loves you, you won't have to ask him to say it. You'll already feel it. Men are not always raised to speak in the language of emotion. Most of us grow up learning that feelings are something to be buried, not shared. We're told to be strong, to be providers, to take care of things without complaint. So when it comes to love, most men don't turn to words first. They turn to action. And if you expecting him to constantly express himself through sweet talk or endless affection in the way you're used to, you might miss the way he's already loving you deeply. Because for a man, love often doesn't come out of his mouth. It comes out of his hands, his time, his effort, and his presence. It starts in the way he prioritizes you. He might not always say, you're everything to me, but when he rearranges his schedule to be with you, when he chooses time with you over time with the boys, when he puts your needs before his convenience, that's his way of telling you you matter. He's not showing off. He's showing up. That's love. When a man loves you, he doesn't need an audience. He's not performing, serving. He's building. He's making sure you feel safe in his presence and secure in his plans. That's the kind of love that's quiet but powerful. And a lot of women get frustrated because they want a man to communicate love the same way they do. But men are wired differently. We don't always express ourselves with the same emotional fluency. Sometimes we fumble. Sometimes we go silent. But silence doesn't always mean apathy. Sometimes it means we're thinking, processing, trying to solve a problem before we speak on it. And in the meantime, we're still doing what needs to be done. A man in love will continue to protect you, provide for you, and be consistent, even when he's struggling to say what he feels. He'll make sure you're good. If you're sick, he's getting your medicine. If you're stressed, he's trying to figure out how to fix it, even if he doesn't know how to talk about it. If you're feeling down, he might not always say the right thing, but he's there and he's beside you. He's keeping you close. That's his way of loving you. When a man loves, he becomes dependable. You can set your watch by the way he shows up for you. He's not just there when it's easy, he's there when it's hard. That kind of consistency is how he says, I'm not leaving, I'm in this. A man will express his love through protection. You might not see it at first, but look at how he pays attention to the world around you. He parks in a spot where he can watch your back. He walks on the outside of the sidewalk. He tells you to text him when you get home. That's not control. That's care. That's love without a speech. That's his instinct to keep you safe, to guard what matters to him. And if you matter to him, you can be sure he's watching out for you. Even when he doesn't say a word about it, he's going to show love and sacrifice. You might not know the things he's giving up, the things he's turning down just to keep the peace or to make you happy. He might not broadcast it, but he's thinking about the long term. That might mean less time with friends, more time working. That might mean staying up late to help you with something when he's dead tired. That might mean biting his tongue in moments of conflict just to avoid hurting you. He won't always get credit for it, but he's not doing it for recognition. He's doing it because love makes him consider someone else before himself. Even in his silence, even in his toughness, he's loving you. It's in the way he listens, even if he doesn't always respond the way you want. It's in the way he shows up to every milestone, supports every dream, and lifts every burden he can carry. You might want more words, and that's valid, but don't ignore the power in what he's already doing. The man who gets up every day and works hard so you never go without, that's love. The man who learns your patterns and comforts you without asking what's wrong, that's love. The man who's fixing the sink at midnight because you mentioned it once in passing, that's love. And you may be wishing he'd say, I love you more often, but don't forget to hear it in the things he does. When he makes sure you eat, when he double checks your tires, when he gives up sleep just to stay up talking to you after a long day. He's not just being nice. He's loving you in the best way he knows how. And if he's a good man, he's trying. He might not be perfect, but he's showing up. He's putting in effort. And you'd be surprised how much emotion is wrapped up in those small daily acts. That's where his heart is. Understand this. Love doesn't always look like flowers and candlelight dinners. Sometimes it looks like a man who fixes what's broken, even when he's tired. A man who keeps showing up even when he's frustrated. A man who stands by you even when life gets messy. That's not just love, that's commitment. And commitment is the strongest way a man can show he cares. When a man loves, he doesn't just give you words. He gives you parts of his life. He makes space for you. He lets you into the parts of him he usually keeps guarded. That's no small thing. So, if you're ever wondering where you stand with a man, don't just listen to what he says, watch what he does. Does he treat you with respect? Does he protect your peace? Does he prioritize your well-being? Does he stay consistent even in hard times? Those are your answers. That's a man telling you, I love you, without ever opening his mouth. He might not say it often, but if he's doing all that, he's already shown it. And real love for a man like that will always be felt more than it's heard. There are men out there right now who haven't said, I love you in weeks, maybe even months, but they're out here every single day showing it louder than words ever could. You see, men don't always operate in feelings and verbal expression. For a lot of us, emotions are hard to explain. We were raised to be tough, to suck it up, to move forward without showing too much. So when a man falls in love, it's not always going to sound the way you want it to. But if you pay attention, it's going to show up in ways that words could never truly capture. A man in love might not be pouring out poems or sending heart emojis all day, but he's watching you closely. He notices when you're tired. He senses when your mood shifts. He might not ask a million questions, but he adjusts his tone, softens his approach, and gives you space or support, whatever you need at that moment. That's love. That's a man tuning into your frequency without being told. That's him picking up on your emotional rhythm and dancing to it without even needing music. My toe man, love to him to you, may drop in the evening. Sometimes he's not going to say, I miss you, but he'll call just to ask what you ate today. He might not say, I think about you all the time, but he'll send you that video you laughed at last week because it reminded him of your smile. He might not tell you that you're beautiful every day, but he'll hold your hand in public, open your door, keep his hand on your back when you walk through a crowd. Those gestures, small, quiet, powerful, are him loving you out loud without ever opening his mouth. He's showing love when he fixes what's broken before you even know it was an issue. When your tire pressure is low and he handles it. When your sink is dripping and he's already looking for tools. When you casually mention that something's been bugging you and he jumps into solution mode, he's not just being helpful. That's how he's wired to show love. Fixing, providing, protecting. That's a man's silent language of devotion. He's telling you, I got you, I hear you, and you can lean on me, all without needing to spell it out. And you'll see it in how he prioritizes you. He could be exhausted from work, but he still picks you up when you need a ride. He might have plans, but if you're overwhelmed or sick, he'll cancel to be by your side. That's not obligation, it's desire. That's a man who finds purpose in showing up for you. Even when life is heavy, he's still carrying his own weight and then some, just so you don't have to carry yours alone. That's love, and it's deep, even if it's quiet. When a man truly loves, his heart is all in, even if his mouth hasn't caught up yet. He may not say everything he feels, but he'll do everything he can to make sure you feel secure. That includes checking on your well-being, remembering the small things, protecting your peace, and making sure you never have to guess how he feels about you. It's in how he makes time even when he's busy. It's in how he stays calm when you're anxious. It's in how he chooses his battles and avoids hurting you with careless words. That restraint, that thoughtfulness, that's all love. Sometimes he'll show love by planning your future, even if he hasn't said those exact words yet. When he starts using words like we, when he starts saving with you in mind, when he takes steps in life thinking about how it will benefit both of you, that's him showing you that you are not temporary. You're part of the vision. You're someone he's anchoring his future to. And even if he doesn't say forever every week, he's making decisions with forever in mind. That's commitment. That's a deeper kind of love than anything words can match. You'll also notice the way he stands up for you when you're not around, how he talks about you to others, how he shuts down negativity or protects your name when someone disrespects it. That's a man who values you. That's a man who wants to guard not just your body, but your reputation, your spirit, your peace. And no, he might not come home and say, I defended you today, but you'll feel it in how safe you are in his world. He creates that security with action, not just affection. Even the silence becomes love with the right man, sitting next to you without a word, but still feeling fully connected, letting you rest on his chest while you scroll through your phone or fall asleep, offering a warm glance from across the room that says, I'm proud of you, even if he doesn't say it out loud. That's intimacy. That's quiet communication. That's love speaking in its most unfiltered form. It doesn't need a stage or spotlight. It just needs you to be present enough to notice. A lot of women say he never says how he feels, but often he's showing it in ways that don't involve his voice. He pays attention to your needs. He gives you his last piece of food. He sacrifices time, energy, and sometimes even comfort just so you can smile. Those aren't just acts of kindness. Those are signs of devotion. That's a man laying down his pride, his time, his space, because his love is bigger than his ego. He may not always say, I love you in the way you want, but love is there. It's in the way he makes sure your path is clear. It's in how he worries when you're out late. It's in how he'll teach you something instead of doing it for you because he wants you to be strong. It's in how he brags about your wins more than his own. It's in the way he treats your family, cares for your dreams, and protects your heart. That's how men show love, quiet, steady, and deep. A man may not always sit you down and pour his heart out in long speeches, but when he loves you, everything he does starts to shift. His routine, his thoughts, his priorities. Without saying a word, he begins to include you in every part of his life. It's not about big declarations or grand performances. It's the subtle ways he brings you closer, makes room for you in his world, and allows you into the quiet parts of himself that no one else sees. Love for a man is something he acts out, not something he always articulates. He might not say, I need you out loud, but you'll see it in how he turns to you when things go wrong. When life gets heavy, when stress piles up, when the weight of the world hits him hard, you're the place he finds peace. You're the voice that calms him, the presence that steadies him. He might not explain it, but the way he seeks you out speaks volumes. A man in love leans into you, not just when things are good, but when they're hard. He may not show emotion the way you expect, but he shows trust by letting you be near when he's most vulnerable. Sometimes love is in the way he holds back, when he could speak out of anger but chooses silence instead, when he walks away from an argument not because he doesn't care, but because he doesn't want to say something he can't take back. That's control. That's protection. That's him thinking of your heart before his pride. It might not feel like love in that moment, but it is. A man who loves you is constantly weighing his words, his reactions, because he knows your peace matters. He's trying, even if he doesn't always get it right. And that effort, unspoken and consistent, is love in its purest form. He shows love by remembering not just the big things, like your birthday or your favorite restaurant, but the small things, the way you like your tea, the stories you told him once and never brought up again, the way you react when you're stressed. He studies you, not to control you, but to support you. He wants to be what you need without always having to be asked. So when he brings home your favorite snack after a long day, or when he senses your mood and responds without you explaining, that's love. That's him choosing to know you deeply, not just date you on the surface. A man in love isn't always loud about his emotions, but his consistency speaks louder than any I love you ever could. He's present, even when it's inconvenient. He answers the phone, even when he's tired. He makes time, not excuses. He doesn't disappear when things get tough. He stands in the fire with you, shoulders some of your burdens, and becomes a safe place for your storm. He might not post about you or write long captions, but he's there every day proving with his actions that you matter. And that consistency day in and day out is a man's way of saying, I'm not going anywhere. Love for a man often looks like responsibility. It's in how seriously he takes your well-being. He makes sure you're okay physically, emotionally, and mentally. He checks the locks, looks out for dangers you haven't noticed, and sometimes even carries worries you don't see. Not because he thinks you're weak, but because protecting you makes him feel strong. He wants to be your anchor, your covering, your calm in the chaos. He might not always say, I'll take care of you, but he does it anyway, and he does it consistently. That's love without words, spoken through duty and dedication. He loves you by adjusting, by learning what triggers you, what soothes you, what lifts your spirit, and then adapting to love you in a way that fits. That doesn't mean he changes who he is, but he becomes better because of you. He listens more, he softens, he becomes more open. He's willing to compromise, to shift his habits, to give up certain comforts because your happiness means something to him. It's in the way he starts thinking before acting, because now there's more than just him to consider. That evolution is love.